The biggest problem that I think, and the doc's going to agree with me on this, the biggest problem with anxiety right now is it's very taboo for everyone. Look, it's vast. So many people have problems with this. I would be willing to bet that everyone has had a problem with it at one point in time in their life. But it's an epidemic, no question. Biggest problem about it is nobody talks about it. Everything else gets coverage. Breast cancer, AIDS, all these crazy things that happen out there that people suffer with. It's spoken about, it's talked about. Anxiety, it's like it's stuffed in a closet, it's hidden away, and no one talks about it. So that's something that's really important about this program, is we're trying to make it so that people understand, look, it's okay. It's cool to talk about. There's no reason you need to hide it. Bearing that inside of you and suppressing all of these, sad, terrible feelings that people have, that's almost half the battle, just being open about it.
Yeah, what amazes me is people will come in and they've hidden it for years and years, and as they really begin to get better and feel they can talk about it, they'll go to work or they'll go to their families and begin mentioning they're getting help for anxiety. They're always totally surprised because they'll meet 3, 4, 5 other people that come up and go, oh, well, me too, I've had the same thing. And we have lots of people walking around with anxiety. They're all feeling the same thing, but they don't know it. I've had people come in and get well and then go home and talk to their families. And generations of a family will go, oh yeah, I've had that. Your dad had that. Your uncle had that. It's so common.
Common, that's a good word.
Yeah, it is just so common anymore that you can hardly go anywhere and mention you have anxiety and somebody's going to say, oh, me too, me too.
Stop you and say, yeah, I've been there too.
That's exactly right. And I think part of that is we live in a very different world. The world is really changing at a very rapid pace. Things are always on the move. I use an example lots of times with just telecommunications. In a generation, we've gone from, just telephones to now version 5 of an iPhone. So everything is changing so rapidly that people have to keep learning and learning and learning. And when you have to keep relearning, there's stress involved, and that can lead to stress.
And that was a big part of the whole thing that you said. Yeah, that was something that you brought up to me that I totally latched onto, was just in general as people, we've come so far. And as, I'm totally stealing your words, but this is great. We're hundreds, thousands of years ago, whatever, we're just, none of these we weren't really built to deal with this kind of stuff. The world we live in is so crazy. There's so much happening. It's hard for us to take it all in. So, we're not just worried about going and killing food and eating it and staying warm and breeding. That's not all that we're concerned about. But today it's, do I have the right color pants? Do I have the coolest car? Or, what's my girlfriend doing, or my wife, or my kids? The stress of the world has increased so immensely that pressure has to go somewhere. That there's something happening there. So what's the natural response? Well, the body's going to find a way to deal with it, but unfortunately, it's not the most pleasant thing to deal with.
I lots of times use the example that a couple hundred years ago, when you got to be about 16, you had a trade, and that's all you were going to do, and you were never going to have to learn something new about that. You'd keep doing the same thing till the day you died. Well, in this day and age, at 16, you're learning and learning, and you may have 6, 7, 8 jobs through your career and have to relearn new things every bit of the way. So it is just an amazingly rapidly changing world that people have to keep up with, and that creates anxiety.